You bet.
All right, everybody, good evening. Thank you for coming out tonight. This is the November 12, 2025 meeting of the City of Pasco Hearing Examiner. My name is Andy Kottkamp. I've been appointed by the City of Pasco to serve as the Land Use Hearing Examiner. My job is to render decisions and sometimes recommended decisions on various matters that are authorized to come before me. I consider any testimony and evidence presented at tonight's hearing, as well as all the written materials that are already on file, in order to make my decision. Now, the hearing process does have certain rules. I'll still try to conduct the meeting in a relaxed and informal way, but we still have a procedure we're going to use. Take each item separately, and for each item, staff will present their report and make whatever recommendations that they wish to make. Next, the applicant or the applicant's representative is given an opportunity to present their testimony and evidence. The applicant does have the burden of proof to show compliance with all the applicable rules and regulations. Then turn it over to the public. If there's any member of the public that wishes to testify on that specific matter, you'll be given that chance to do so. And if there is any testimony in opposition to the project, because the applicant has the burden of proof, the applicant gets the last opportunity to present their testimony and evidence. Now, if you are going to testify, I'm going to have you coming up to that podium there in the front of the hearing room. I'll have you state your name and address, and if you're going to give testimony, I'll swear you as a witness. I'd ask that you keep your testimony relevant to the specific application we're talking about and not to other issues beyond the scope of that proposal. A number of members of the public for the second item on today's agenda, the rezone application, have already submitted written comments. I have many written comments. I can't count them all. There's probably more than 30 of them. If you have submitted a written comment, then that will be made a part of the record, and you do not need to come and just read your written comment into the record. It's already there. If you have something additional that you want to testify to, then you're more than welcome to come up and testify about that. But it's certainly not necessary for you to reread or read your written comment into the record. I also want to let the public know for both items, this is not a question and answer period. This is not a time for you to ask questions of staff or ask questions of the applicant, ask questions of the public, or ask questions of the hearing examiner. This is a time for you to present your testimony and evidence as to how the project does or does not comply with the applicable rules and regulations. Also, my job as a hearing examiner is not necessarily to ask questions unless I'm confused about something. My job is to gather the evidence. So I may or I may not ask questions about either of the proposals that are on the agenda for tonight, and I'd ask you please not to read anything into whether I do or do not ask questions. Again, my job is to gather the evidence, make findings of facts and conclusions of law, and then to render a decision. On the second item, that's for the first item. On the second item, I don't make a final decision. I make a recommended decision to the Pasco City Council on that rezone application. Pasco City Council will have access to this entire record that I create tonight at this hearing, and then they will have what's called a closed record hearing. And at that closed record hearing, that means that there's no other evidence that's provided. This is the only evidence that's before the City Council, and then they will make their final decision on that rezone application after that closed record hearing. Now, on the first item, except as provided by the Pasco Municipal Code regarding request for reconsideration, and this is the preliminary plat approval, my decision on that matter will be final and conclusive, but it can be appealed. Appeals are by means of what's called a land use petition action, and those have to be filed with Franklin County Superior Court within 21 days of the date of the issuance of my decision, and if the appeal isn't timely filed, the appeal would be barred. Again, on the second item, the rezone application, I do not make a final decision. I make a recommendation, and City Council will make the final decision, and it's the City Council's decision that is appealable according to the Pasco Municipal Code. Now, I have reviewed both items on tonight's agenda. I don't have any interest in either of the properties or the proposals to be heard today, and I'll be able to fairly and objectively consider each item. And outside of receiving and reviewing for each item, the staff report, all the application materials, the comments that have come through, both agency and public comments. There's noticing documents, there's SEPA documents. Other than receiving and reviewing essentially the entire planning staff file for each item, I've not had any communication regarding either item that's on tonight's agenda. So with those representations, if there is anybody here today who objects to my participation as the hearing examiner, if so, you need to come forward and state so at this time. All right, seeing no movement, we'll turn to the first item on today's agenda. As indicated, this one is the preliminary plat approval item. This is given application number PP 2025-003, the Columbia Waters subdivision. This is a request for a preliminary plat approval for a project that's to be located within the city of Pasco on property that's more specifically described in the staff report as well as in all the application materials. Now, for the record, for this matter, I'm going to admit into the record that staff report, all the application materials, all the State Environmental Policy Act materials, there's comments, agency comments that have come through, noticing documents. I'm going to admit all of those items. Indeed, I will admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time and by this reference, and I'll turn this matter over to staff for their presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. My name is Ivan Barragon, Planner 3 with the City of Pasco. I am here this evening to present preliminary plat application PP 2025-003, Columbia Waters Estates, submitted by Big Sky North LLC. Next slide, please. The property is generally located west of Road 68, north of Burns Road, east of Future Road 84, and south of Deseret Drive, adjoining the Desert Sage subdivision to the south. Next slide, please. The property is split zoned with the northern portion approximately 360 feet in depth, designated R3 medium density residential, and the southern portion approximately 650 feet in depth, designated R1 low density residential. The overall site encompasses approximately 42.66 acres. Next slide, please. The applicant proposes to subdivide parcel number 115.010.042 into 213 residential lots, with 145 lots designated for single-family detached housing within the low-density residential portion, and 68 lots designated for single-family attached housing within the medium-density residential portion. The subdivision is planned to be developed in 3 phases. Proposed improvements include mass grading, construction of public streets, and installation of water, sewer, Franklin County irrigation, communication, and power infrastructure. The project also includes the extension of existing City of Pasco public streets, including Road 84 and Ember Lane. Additionally, the plan proposes 3 public pedestrian pathways to enhance connectivity and walkability within the residential blocks, providing convenient pedestrian access from Road 84 into the subdivision. Next slide, please. The northern portion of the site has a medium density residential future land use designation, allowing a range of housing types with a density of 6 to 20 dwelling units per acre. The southern portion of the site has a low density residential future land use designation, allowing a variety of housing types at a density of 3 to 6 dwelling units per acre. The proposed number of units within the low density residential R1 area equates to approximately 4.3 dwelling units per acre. The proposed number of units within the medium density residential R3 area equates to approximately 7.4 dwelling units per acre. Within the low density residential R1 area, proposed lots average 6,884 square feet, ranging from 6,064 to 12,259 square feet. Within the medium density residential R3 area, proposed lots average 3,880 square feet, ranging from 3,690 to 4,546 square feet. Next slide, please. Notice of the public hearing was mailed to property owners within 300 feet of the proposal on October 21st, 2025. Notice of the public hearing was published in the Tri-City Herald on October 26, 2025. The property was zoned R3 and R1 on February 10, 2023 via Ordinance 4637 following annexation. A Tier 2 traffic impact analysis, known as TIA, dated September 19, 2025 and accepted October 16, 2025, determined that the proposed development will not require off-site transportation improvements beyond collection of applicable traffic impact fees. Traffic, park, and school impact fees will be collected for each lot prior to issuance of building permits for new residences. With that, staff recommends approval of the Columbia Waters Estates preliminary plat, parcel number 115010042, with the conditions listed in the November 12th staff report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't have any questions for staff. Is the applicant ready to proceed? Good evening. I'll have you state your name and address for me.
Good evening. My name is Peter Harpster with Harpster Land Development, here tonight representing the applicant, Big Sky North. And my address is 5804 Road 90, Suite C, here in Pasco.
All right, thank you. I'll have you raise your right hand for me, please. Sir, do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. A couple of preliminary questions. You indicated you are here as an agent authorized to appear and speak on behalf of the applicant and property owner?
That is correct.
And there was a written staff report prepared. Did you have a chance to review that?
I did.
And do you have any disagreement with any of the representations within the staff report?
No, I don't. I had some clarifying questions for staff earlier in the week that were asked and answered, but we have no objections with anything that was contained in the staff report.
All right, and does that include the proposed conditions of approval?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'd like to get those questions out of the way at the beginning. Now, sir, what would you like to tell me about this project?
Nothing more to add other than what Mr. Berrigan already stated for the record. One thing I did want to mention was when we submitted the application a few months ago, we listed City of Pasco as the irrigation provider. I did update staff this week. That's actually Franklin County Irrigation District, FCID, and I think the report was updated, but just wanted to mention that. Again, no issues with the conditions of approval. There'll be some things to work through with staff, more at the engineering technical level, and but we've got no objection to anything that was listed. Lastly, I'll just mention it because it, I don't know, might come up for somebody. The layout of the site is a little weird, for lack of a better term. That's because portions of the parcels in the northeast section are not the land use that we currently want, so we're working through other applications, comp plan amendments with the city at this time. If those are approved, we'll submit one application. If they're denied, we'll submit a different application here in a couple of years. So that's why the layout is the way that it's presented this evening. Other than that, I have nothing further to add.
All right. Thank you very much. Was there anybody else that was going to speak on behalf of the applicant, Mr. Harpster?
No, just myself. Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much. Turn this over to the public. Did any member of the public that's present in person come to testify on this matter tonight? All right. I don't see any movement. I don't know who Alyssa or Sandra are, but if you wish to testify on this matter, please unmute yourself and state your name and address. All right, not hearing any. No public testimony on this particular matter. Is there anything further from staff?
No, Mr. Examiner.
All right, thank you. What I'm going to do, folks, is I am going to close the public record portion of this hearing. Once again, I'll be having a written final decision made, excuse me, within 10 working days. Turn to the second item on today's agenda. This is a application for a rezone. It's given application number Z2025-009, and it's a request to rezone a piece of property within the city of Pasco from residential transition to R1. Once again, this relates to property located within the city of Pasco that is more specifically described in the staff report as well as in all those application materials. For the record, I'm going to admit into the record that staff report, all the application materials, all the noticing documents, there's the SEPA documents, comments that have come through, including public comments that were received by the hearing examiner before today. They were sent out with the staff report. And then there were numerous public comments that were sent to me today. And I'm going to have Mr. Berrigan, during his presentation, identify all of those comments that were forwarded to the hearing examiner and to the applicant today as we go through with this matter. So I'll turn this over to staff for your presentation and letting us know what those comments were.
Good evening again, and thank you, Mr. Examiner. Again, for the record, my name is Ivan Barragon, Planner 3 with the City of Pasco. I am here this evening to present rezone application Z 2025-009, submitted by Big Sky North LLC on behalf of Rocky Hills Management, with signed authorization to proceed with the rezone recommendation to City Council. As requested, Mr. Examiner, I will not provide the names and dates of the correspondence received in opposition to this proposal, which have been forwarded for inclusion in the official record. So I'll go name, email received, email forwarded, and comment. And I'll stick with email forwarded, date, and then move on to throughout the list. So Adrian and Joanne Perez, email received November 12, 2025, email forwarded same day. KC Garza, email received November 12, 2025, forwarded the same day. Omar Garza, email received November 3rd, November 10th, and November 12th, all forwarded November 12, 2025. Stefan and Connie Cole, received November 9th, 2025, forwarded November 12th, 2025. Carlos Toscano, received November 9th, 2025, forwarded November 12th, 2025. Tiffany Alviso, November 9th, 2025, forwarded November 12th, 2025. Jeff Pittman, received November 10th, forwarded November 12th. Ray and Jessica Burnson, received November 10th, forwarded November 12th. Zenaida and Megan Martinez, received November 10th, forwarded November 12th. Stephanie Correa, received November 10th, forwarded November 12th. Dora Martinez, received November 10th, forwarded November 12th. Andrew Correa, received November 10th, forwarded November 12th. Zenaida Martinez Jr., received November 10th, forwarded November 12th. Stephan Martinez, received November 10th, forwarded November 12th. Reynaldo Garza, received November 10th, forwarded November 12th. David Barber, received November 11th and November 12th, forwarded November 12th. Aaron Faber, received November 12th, forwarded November 12th. Brett Brown, received November 11th, forwarded November 12th. Brad Mason, received November 11th and forwarded November 12th. Angeline Pena, received November 11th, forwarded November 12th. Sandra Seger, received November 11th, forwarded November 12th. Stephan and Belinda Matthews, received November 11th, forwarded November 12th. Terry and Barbara Fowler, received November 11th, forwarded November 12th. Randy Hollinger, received November 11th, forwarded November 12th. Harry and Cheryl March, this one was handed in person. It's dated November 5th. It was forwarded today, November 12th. And there's another one that wasn't on that list, but it's Peter Griffin, received today and forwarded today. And those are all.
And I also want to add, just so everybody knows it's there, these were provided with the materials that Mr. Barragon sent to the hearing examiner. There were 3 comments that were received, and if I missed one, Mr. Barragon will correct me. I have a David Barber comment from October 22nd, 2025, an Aaron Faber comment from October 28, 2025, and John and Kathy Mancinelli from October 29, 2025. So those are also part of the record, just so that if you folks are here in the room, you will know about that. I'm looking at this one. It appears maybe one more, Jackie Ansogedy, October 29, 2025. So were there any other public comments, Mr. Barragon, that you're aware of at this time?
Not that I know of.
All right, thank you very much. Please proceed.
Thank you. So next slide, please. The site is generally located north of Burns Road, west of Broadmoor Boulevard, south of future Dent Road, and east of future Dent/Fraser Road. In the next few minutes, I will present a visual overview of the proposed rezone area to help illustrate the request. Next slide, please. The city's comprehensive plan designates the site as low-density residential, which supports a variety of housing types at a density range of 3 to 6 dwelling units per acre, as outlined in Pasco Municipal Code, PMC, Table 25.215.015. Permitted zoning designations within this land use category include RS20 suburban, RS12 suburban, RS1 suburban, R1, R1A low-density residential alternate, and R1A2 low-density residential alternate. Next slide, please. So, as mentioned earlier, this is the zoning map. My goal is to reflect the proposed zoning on this map, so I apologize for any confusion. If this rezone is approved, the area would appear yellow, consistent with the zoning shown to the south. The majority of the property is undeveloped and currently used for agricultural purposes. Surrounding properties are zoned and developed as follows. So to the north, RT residential transition used for agricultural. East, it's RR5, that's Franklin County, rural residential. There's single family homes. South, RS20, R1, and Franklin County. So it's suburban, low density residential, and they're single family homes, agricultural, and an irrigation pond. West is RS40, Franklin County, and single family homes. The total area of the site is approximately 156 acres. The existing RT zoning is not consistent with the city's comprehensive plan. Approval of the requested rezone will bring the property into conformance with the adopted comprehensive land use designation. This rezone request does not include a project-specific development proposal. Therefore, no specific project action is under consideration at this time. However, a preliminary plat, SEPA checklist, and traffic impact analysis, known as TIA, were submitted concurrently with this application. The preliminary plat will be scheduled for a future hearing examiner meeting once SEPA review and related requirements are complete. Next slide, please. So, pursuant to PMC 25.210.040, public notice of this rezone was mailed on October 22nd, 2025 to each property owner of record within 300 feet of the proposed rezone area. Pursuant to PMC 25.210.040, public notice for this hearing was also published in the Tri-City Herald on October 26, 2025, in compliance with city requirements. Pursuant to PMC 25.210.060, number 2, the hearing examiner shall render a rezone recommendation to the City Council. Based on findings and conclusions, the recommendation may be to approve with modifications or conditions, or deny the petition. The hearing examiner's recommendation, including all findings and conclusions, will be forwarded to the City Council for consideration at a regular business meeting. The proposed zoning designation is again consistent with the comprehensive plan and aligns with the designated land use for the subject area. The City of Pasco is serving as the lead agency for this project with respect to environmental review. The city has determined this proposal, the rezone, to be categorically exempt under Washington Administrative Code WAC 197.11.800, number 6, letter C, 1 through 3. With that, staff recommends approval of R1 low-density residential zoning for parcel number 115180030, totaling approximately 156 acres, as a recommendation to City Council for their consideration at a later date, as stated in the November 12th staff report. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Is the applicant ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Your name and address, please.
Peter Harpster, 5804 Road 90, Suite C in Pasco.
All right, Mr. Harpster, you are still under oath from the previous matter. Couple of preliminary questions. Once again, are you here as an agent authorized to appear and speak on behalf of the applicant and property owner?
I am.
And have you had a chance to review the staff report?
Yes.
Do you have any objection with any of the representations within the staff report?
We do not.
All right, thank you very much. Sir, what would you like to tell me about this project?
I don't want to restate everything that was already stated by staff just for the sake of time, and so I'll just mention this is a standard rezone, as was mentioned by staff. The current RT zoning is not in compliance with the city's comprehensive plan. There's a few different zonings that are allowed within low-density residential, which is what the site is designated. R1 is one of those zonings. The current zoning of RT is meant as a placeholder, and that current zoning, the minimum lot standard is 5 acres, which is not suitable for what the land has been designated for in accordance with the comprehensive plan. As was mentioned, a preliminary plat application was also submitted separate from this application. Many of the comments that were received were specific to that application. And so just reiterating that application will have its own separate public hearing in the future that the public will be able to attend and provide comments. Other than that, I don't have anything at this time.
If you have any comment on the question I'm going to ask you, I would appreciate it, but you don't have to have any comment on it. One of the criteria to prove is the effect that this potential rezone would have on the value and character of adjacent property. And there's been a lot of public comments about the nature and character of the adjacent property. The hearing examiner is very well understands that the use is the same, residential use, and but do you have any comments on those public comments that the R1 zone is inconsistent with the current lot sizes, basically, of some of the neighboring properties?
Yeah, I can provide some comments to that, and if permissible at the end, if we could have the opportunity to maybe address any comments.
You will have that chance.
Okay. Yeah, so that's number 4, the criteria item that you brought up, the effect it will have on the value and character of the adjacent property and the comprehensive plan. First, as stated, the rezone brings the property into conformance with the city's comprehensive plan, so that takes care of that second half. R1 zoning is compatible with the adjacent lands. As we saw on the map, all of the lands adjacent to this property are designated low-density residential, just like this site is. This site just simply hasn't been developed yet, like the others have been. The staff report does detail that the rezone will not have a material detrimental effect on the surrounding area, and we agree with that. Again, to get more into the project-specific stuff for the preliminary plat application, but any application we submit that may have impacts or material effects, with those, there's going to be conditions of approval that will be required to meet, such as traffic improvements, installing signals or roundabouts or whatever it would take to bring the roads up to concurrency. And so one of the comments that was included in a lot of the letters that were submitted was specific to people being able to walk on those roads, and as growth occurs in Pasco, it's getting more and more dangerous. I live in this area myself and deal with that same issue. When a project like this comes forward, again, separate from the rezone, but when a project like this comes forward, there's going to be requirements of the developer to expand the size of those roads, build sidewalks, curbs, and gutters. In some cases, depending on the classification of the road, provide separate pedestrian paths, separate even from the sidewalks. And so certainly there's some level of impacts still to be determined at a future public hearing. Those impacts will be addressed by staff and by the number of different agencies, public agencies that get to provide comment, requesting or in some cases requiring mitigation for any concerns.
The last question is the property to the west. Staff indicated that that's in the county. Is that correct?
Yes. To the west and to the south. Yeah.
Are you asking staff or me? I apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Harpster. I was asking you if you're aware of that.
Yes, that is county.
All right. And does the county have any kind, I haven't looked up Franklin County Code, but if you know, again, if you know, if you don't, that's fine. Whether or not there's any comparable zoning in Franklin County to single-family residential, such as what the R1 zoning here is attempting to change it to? It's a really awkward question. Did you understand that?
It is. I understand. So a large portion of the area shown in this map in the bottom left part of the screen, although it's in the county, it is in the city's UGA. And as far as comparable county zoning, probably the most comparable is a planned unit development zoning, PUD zoning. Those are not applied to properties in the county outright. Those have to be applied for. And so the lowest density zoning you're going to see in the county is in that area towards the northwest corner of this map and then up. And that's just in the rural shoreline development area, let's say 1,500 acre or so designated area. Again, either RC1 or RC5, so 5 acre lots. But 1 acre would be the smallest allowed outright without additional approvals needed for a PUD. Because it's county, there's no code that specifically states this, but the smallest lot you're going to be able to get in the county is a half acre due to septic requirements.
Correct. Okay. All right. Thank you for that clarification. I appreciate that.
Sure.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Harpster?
No, I would just maybe ask, was there a map included that showed the future land use map for the city? If we could look at that real quick. That showed the land use designations. Yeah, so everything in yellow is in the city's UGA and designated as low density residential. And so although some of these neighborhoods were built out at county standards, they are within the UGA and do have the potential at some point to be annexed in the future. Just a note.
Got it. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you pointing that out to me. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Nope.
All right. Thank you very much. We're going to turn this now to the public. Start with those people that are present. If you, like I said, if you've submitted a written comment, I have that comment. It will be considered and it will be forwarded on to City Council. But if you'd like to testify, I'm not going to call on you. Just please come on up, state your name and address, and then I'll swear you in as a witness.
Hello, Mr. Examiner. My name is David Barber. My address is 11315 Easton Drive.
Mr. Barber, if you raise your right hand for me, do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you give today will be the truth?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, sir. We have your written comments. What else would you like to tell me?
Mr. Examiner, I was born in Pasco. I graduated from Pasco High, and I've worked here as a physician for the past 11 years. My wife and 4 kids live just south of the proposed Wilson Estates development. First, I want to be clear, we are not against growth, and we're certainly not against the city of Pasco. We want to share in its vision for smart, sustainable growth, and we want to be partners in that future, not obstacles to it. Our concern isn't that Pasco is growing, it's how this specific project grows. As it stands, Wilson Estates and the rezoning to R1 would bring nearly 8,700 new vehicle trips every day. When you consider our rural roads, offset intersections, lack of collector routes, sidewalks, or street lamps, I hope you understand why we're concerned. This isn't anti-growth, it's a call for safe and responsible planning. To the south, to the west, and to the north, our neighborhoods reflect semi-rural character that RT zoning was created to protect, a natural buffer between dense development and rural Pasco. If the entire area shifts to R1, that buffer disappears. And Pasco's own comprehensive plan includes policies meant to prevent this kind of abrupt transition. But there is a better way. A balanced, mixed-density design with larger R20 lots along the outer edges, stepping towards R1 in the center and north, would create a smooth transition, reduce traffic, preserve privacy, and align perfectly with the comprehensive plan's goals. As stated, if we were to transition from RT to R1 zoning, by my research, the current homeowners would anticipate a 10% loss in home value. We're not here to fight the city. We simply want to see Pasco grow in a way that's thoughtful, safe, and lasting. Let's make this project something that will be safe, beautiful, and truly enhance, not destroy, the special semi-rural part of Pasco. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Barber. Would anybody else like to provide any testimony tonight? All right, I'll have you state your name and address for me, please.
Juan Ochoa, I'm 4305 Palmyra Drive, Pasco, Washington.
Just a second, Paul, is it Paul, did you say P-A-U-L?
Juan, J-U-A-N.
Oh, I got that all wrong, I'm sorry. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ochoa. Would you raise your right hand for me, please? You swear or affirm under penalty of perjury any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. Sir, what would you like to tell me?
So we're also been in Pasco for a long time, and I'm right there with the previous gentleman that came up. We just bought a lot out there northwest of this proposed property. It's a 1 acre lot. We're right to the corner, to the left top corner of where the 156 acres are, and we're on the same boat. We would like to have a smoother transition. 178 or 873 lots seems like a big number. We moved out there for that reason. We like the rural, we like the open space. We're getting ready to submit plans to the city on over a 5,000 square foot home for a 1 acre, and we would like the city to really reconsider that proposal they have. That's all I got.
Well, I'm glad you came in. Thank you very much, Mr. Ochoa.
Thanks, sir.
Anybody else wish to offer any testimony that's present in the hearing room?
My name's Randy Hellinger. I'm from 11401 Easton Drive.
I was talking over you. It's Frank, and what's your last name?
Randy Hullinger, Hullinger.
All right. Sir, I'll have you raise your right hand for me, please. And do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury any testimony given tonight will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right. Thank you very much. Then what would you like to tell me?
So I did submit an email earlier, and I just wanted to kind of add to that a little bit how, like many others, I'm not anti-development. In fact, the development I live in was one that was a proposed development at some point, and I'm sure people had comments on that. I'm one of those who walks around the neighborhoods, and over the last couple of years, I have walked every single bit of pavement in probably a 2 to 3 mile radius of this project. And as I've watched those develop, and at the same time, I've watched all the traffic develop. And we see the issues on Broadmoor. And while the city has definitely been addressing those, when I see the backups that we're already seeing, and the number of trips that are going to come as a result of this new development, it concerns me that there's not a bigger plan in place to, or at least being exercised to make sure that the added traffic pressure is going to be addressed. So I'm also concerned about the number of houses going into this small area right next to all of the half acre and 1 acre lots. And I urge you to reconsider and keep the lot sizes more in line with the adjacent properties.
All right, Mr. Hollinger, thank you very much for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who's present that wishes to offer any testimony? So, sir, your name and address, please?
Randy Smith, 11425 Easton Drive, Pasco. And I'm not
All right,
against-
Mr. Smith, I'll have you raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
I do.
All right, so what would you like to tell me?
I'm not against development areas, but what I see was planned, that the lots are so small for houses being built, and the kids won't even have a place to play back there, that just too many houses are gonna be built back there. And I'm seeing how other neighborhoods are crammed in like sardine cans, basically, what I wanna call it. They just can't get along, and you're developing a chaos in the neighborhoods. And that's my concern. And I think the lot should be twice the size as what they are if you're gonna sell them. 40 feet there, and you take 100 feet long, you take off 5 feet on both sides, a 30-foot home with a single car garage. Where's the kids gonna play at? Out in the road? That's my concern.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out tonight. All right. Anybody else wish to offer any testimony?
Yes, good evening.
All right. Your name and address, please.
My name is Jeff Pittman. My wife and I live at 7608 Byers Road in Pasco.
All right, Mr. Pittman, could you raise your right hand for me, and do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. I have read your written comments. What else would you like to tell me?
So yes, and in addition to the written comments, just really one other thing to say. The city has got a stewardship responsibility to existing city and county residents. I don't believe that this zoning proposal is in the best interest of any of the existing property owners and existing residents adjacent or nearby. And that's more than 300 feet. We've got people that live in that area and have been there for a long time. My wife and I have lived out there since 1992. And there are a lot of longtime residents that will be affected by this development. So again, don't believe it's in the best interest of not only existing residents but new as well. I do have a question, even though it said no questions are allowed. What is the process for asking questions?
The process would be outside of this hearing process to go to staff and have ask questions. Should have all been asked before the hearing, quite frankly, because this is a time to present testimony and evidence as to how this particular rezone does or does not comply with the applicable rules and regulations. So that's the best I can tell you. If you have a question, you can certainly pose it, and we'll see if it gets answered, but you're not allowed to question staff or the applicant or the hearing examiner.
Okay, very well then. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you came in. Thank you very much, Mr. Pittman. Anybody else like to provide any testimony tonight? Yes, sir. Your name and address, please.
Kevin Bair, address 51 Richview Drive.
How do you spell Bear?
B-A-I-R.
All right, sir, I'll have you raise your right hand for me. Thank you. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Bear, what would you like to tell me?
Well, just wanted to highly agree with everyone that's been talking up here. Our family, we own the property north of this proposed zoning. We've been farming it since 1947. And we already have issues with traffic. We already have issues with farming. This type of rezoning is definitely going to hinder our farming capabilities. And we have no interest in building any homes on any property to the north of this rezoning. So I just want to let you know that.
All right, I'm glad you did. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Have a good night. Is there anybody else in the room that wishes to offer any testimony tonight?
Hello, Mr. Examiner.
Hello, your name and address, please?
Kelsey Barber, address is 11315 Easton Drive.
All right, I'm also going to put you under oath. And I'll have you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. And what would you like to tell me?
Yeah, we just, my husband and I have 4 young kids. We've lived here. We moved to Pasco for the rural feel, to have more space and to build a home that was valuable and to match our surrounding neighborhoods. We have beautiful homes surrounding this piece of property. And for it to be changed to R1 would just be devastating to all of our properties. It is a beautiful piece of very established, beautiful part of the community, and changing it to R1 would significantly change all of our property values. Not only that, I have a very big concern about the safety. I am a runner, and we have 4 young children. And I know this isn't about the specific plot map for this developer, but we've all seen it, and we all know what the grand design is. So changing it to R1 would just be a huge safety issue for our kids, for those of us who like to get out and exercise and run and walk. And there's just we don't have the infrastructure to support an R1 development. So again, I don't think any of us here are against growth, but changing it to a strictly R1 development is just not in line with the character of our community out there. An R20, an R12, a mixture of put in a little bit of R1, but to strictly have it be R1 would be absolutely, it would just lose a lot of character for that area. So, thank you.
All right, thank you very much for coming out tonight. Would anybody else like to testify? Your name and address, please.
Aaron Fabre, 11413 Easton Drive.
All right, sir, I'll have you raise your right hand for me, and do you swear or affirm to defend any perjury that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. I have read your written comment, and what else would you like to tell me?
My written comment covers most of my concerns. I didn't plan on speaking tonight, but a couple things popped in my head as I was sitting here listening to everyone else. The added comment is that the R1 zoning, pretty much it maxes out at the 6 houses per acre. That's what we're opposed to. It's the 6. The minimum of 3, even though it's still more than what we want, it's a lot more acceptable than what that 6 number is. And that's our biggest fear, is that it does become the 6. That the developer wants to maximize the houses, not the current neighborhood that we have out there. And really, when it comes down to what we're looking for out there is the zoning of the RS1, the RS12, or the RS20, and that's mainly to guarantee that we're not going to get that maximum of the 6 houses. So that was the only other thing I wanted to add.
All right, well, I'm glad you came out. Thank you very much. Would anybody else like to provide any testimony that's in the hearing room? Yes, sir. Thanks for coming up. Your name and address, please.
Peter Griffin, 11225 Matthews Road.
And how is Griffin spelled?
Griffin.
Got it. All right, sir. Have you raised your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm or defend any perjury any testimony you give today will be the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much, sir. What would you like to tell me?
Like most other folks in the room here, my wife and I live in the area. We've lived there the better part of a decade. We have 2 young girls. We've seen a massive increase in traffic as a result of all the other construction that's gone around in the area. Things that we hadn't seen in the last, 8-ish years since moving there. Street racing, aggressive driving, road rage incidents, things like that. I'm really concerned that area specifically in Pasco, within probably the Road 100 and West corridor, has expanded so quickly with the erection of multiple high density units. We've got lots of apartments that have come in, lots of packed neighborhoods that have gone in there, all within the span of probably the last 2 to 3 years or so. It's probably when construction started. I'm just concerned that there's so much growth happening so fast that it's outpacing our ability to even understand what the impacts really are out in that area. we've got, traffic estimates and that kind of thing, but things are growing so fast out there that I'm not convinced that they've been adequately estimated. I think some time to let the communities that have just been installed breathe a little bit and understand what things are really going to be like as more tenants move into the aging and long-term facilities out there and move into the apartments out there. Those things, as far as I know, probably aren't even at full occupancy yet. So we don't even fully know what the impacts of the housing and units that are currently out there even is. And that's all.
All right, thank you very much for coming out tonight. Anybody else who's present in the room that wishes to provide some testimony? Thank you. Your name and address, please.
My name is Scott Hawes. Address is 11712 Pheasant Run.
How do you spell Haws?
H-A-W-S.
All right, no E. Would you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Haws, what would you like to tell me?
Well, I was just made aware of this a couple days ago. The rule you have to notify people within 300 feet on a 850 unit development is, I don't know, maybe even a little ridiculous. But from what I understand is you're going to have homes that are on 4,000 square foot lots. And
there's no development project before me. It's just simply the rezone. And then he'd be able to, if the rezone, city council approves the rezone, then he'd be able to develop the property consistent with that new zone.
Well, the new zoning would allow them to do that much, and I've seen maps that they have laid out at that. So it makes it kind of difficult to decide whether you want to change the deal if you don't know what the lot sizes are going to be. Is there going to be 850 homes on that property, as has been stated by some here? And if it is, and to think that's not going to affect the properties around it when they're on two sides are 5 acre and the other sides are 1.5 acre. So, and then there's no real understanding of how they're going to fix the traffic, because that will change drastically too. So all of these things are unknown. I guess I thought there was, we kind of had a site map, at least I'd seen one. But yeah, I don't think this is very well thought out, and it doesn't take into consideration any of the neighboring properties. Anyway, that's my thoughts.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming on. Is there anybody else that's present tonight that wishes to offer any testimony?
Hello, sir.
Thank you. Your name and address, please. Whoops, we lost volume there.
There you go. There we go. So it was J.R. Troutvetter, spelled T-R-A-U-T, V as in Victor, E-T-T-E-R. I live at 7616 Pheasant Lane, Pasco.
All right, sir, will you raise your right hand for me, and do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. Sir, what would you like to tell me?
My concern is with the development going to the low-density residential R1. Just to the north of us is a large farm agricultural area. It's remaining in agriculture. So that means large equipment coming in and out, going through that area. With a large number of homes there, to the impact to that road would be significant, with farm traffic still being used on those roads. And I think it increases the risk of accidents and injury to when there's a large number of people there.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add?
Nope. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm just writing notes about what you said.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Yes, sir. Your name and address, please.
Riley Dodson, 11308 Easton Drive, Pasco, Washington.
And is Dobson, D-O-B-S-O-N?
D-O-D, D as in dog.
All right, sir, I'll have you raise your right hand for me, and do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. Sir, what would you like to tell me?
Lived in Pasco my entire life. Started out in downtown Pasco, A Street, Gray Street, Park, Margaret. Moved to the Road 68 corridor. Lived on 0.11 of an acre like they are proposing to build out by my house. I moved to this area to better my family and to give better opportunities for my family. Also as an investment for my family. When I sell this house in 10, 15, 20 years, it's going to be the biggest investment that I've ever made. It's ludicrous to think that starter homes on 0.11 of an acre are not going to bring down the value of $1 million homes on an acre and half an acre. That's just flat out the truth. Our development where we all live was also a big sky development. And the realtors all told us these are only ever going to be half acre lots or bigger. They're never going to do anything smaller. Now we have the same exact developer that sold all the lots to our realtors, and they're looking at this next piece of property as, should we only sell 300 lots or 900 lots? It's simply about making more money for the developer without any kind of awareness about how it's going to affect the people around them. Schools. Our schools are overcrowded. We have no room in our schools. They wanted to do another new development down the road. Principals came and said there's no room for kids. Again, starter homes, 0.11 of an acre. Those are homes that are going to be young families. There is no room in the schools for them. No impact fee that our city has ever gotten has helped our school problem. Any traffic development that our city has done is a disaster. I don't know if you live here, Mr. Examiner, but you can go down Road 68 corridor. That's what they're trying to turn Road 100 into. So we don't have any faith that our city can actually take care of the roads and make them safe. And the last thing I want to say, it's not an accusation. I just think there needs to be a little bit more transparency when we have a city council member representing the developer also pushing through something that's never been done before in our county. And I can answer the question that wasn't really answered earlier. There's no other spot in Franklin County that's surrounded by county half-acre lots that the city has come in and put 0.11 acre homes next to those lots. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Does anybody else present wish to provide any testimony? Hi there, your name and address, please?
Luis Vargas, 11605 Pheasant Run.
How do you spell your last name?
Vargas, V as in Victor, A-R-G-A-S.
All right, sir, I'll have you raise your right hand for me, and do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you very much, sir. What would you like to tell me?
Hi, my name is Luis. I live on 11605 Pheasant Run. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. And again, thank you for the work that you guys do for our community. And I'm here to express my concern regarding the proposed housing development that is being planned. I will be directly affected. I'm not saying that the rest of the folks aren't here, but I live across the street from this proposed development. And I know many people here have been very kind in saying they support growth. I oppose that 100%, because of the culture of the neighborhood that we live in right now. I've been a resident of the city of Pasco for more than 20 years. I lived on Angelo Lane before this, and I worked my living butt off to be able to buy a property here and be able to give my family more room. Now, what I mean by culture and our neighborhood is here, every morning when I wake up to go to work, I see elderly people walk our roads. I see kids playing in our neighborhood. If this development if this planned development were to go through, that will be erased 100%. My son will not be able to go on his dirt bike across the road any longer. There's plenty of kids that are able to get on that, where it's a farm now, to be able to go out there and just play in the dirt 100%. That will all be gone. And again, I oppose this 100%. I do not encourage the growth of this because, like the gentleman that was here before, this will make a cut on the investment that everybody here did. Like Mr. Barber said, it would be a decline of 10% on everyone's investment here, and for me, 10% is a lot. So again, I oppose this, and I want to make it clear that I hope it does not go through. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burgess. Is there anybody else that's present that wishes to offer any testimony tonight?
That's me, it's my turn.
Your name and address, please?
Jennifer Dorsett, 7609 Pheasant Lane, Pasco, Washington.
How do you spell Dorsett?
Like the football player.
Did he have two T's or one?
Two.
All right. All right. No relation to Tony Dorsett, though, right?
No.
All right. I'm going to have you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
Yes. I
All right. What would you like to tell me?
Mirror most of everybody else, but I did ask our schools today what our population was at, just because with a mass increased density like this, I was concerned about my child's education. I have 4 children in the school district. In our current school, elementary school, we're supposed to be for brick and mortar at 644, and we're at 700 already. And then our middle school is supposed to be at 1,336. Oh, sorry, 1,131, but we are already at 1,336. So we're already over capacity at our schools, and I don't want to bring down our schools at all right now, but less than 40% of the kids in those schools can read, and less than 30 can do math. And so my concern is by increasing the density, we're also increasing the hardship on our teachers. Our school report cards for those 2 schools are some of the lowest in the entire district. And so I have real concerns about our children's education if more students are then put in those teachers' classrooms that are already overcrowded. The other thing is, and I don't know if I want to say this out loud, I've lived in Pasco my whole life too. I work for Washington Traffic Safety Commission, and currently I know Pasco received a state Safe Streets for All grant. So one of the major pieces of that is to use data to identify road safety issues, and the goal is to reduce fatalities. And we have huge crash areas, identified in that area specifically, that are already under addressed. And so even if they do a traffic study, it doesn't mean any action will occur for it. And that's one of my major concerns, just as somebody who works in prevention and traffic safety. I see a lot of death and serious injuries in our community. And so pedestrian death specifically is up in Washington already by about 20%. And so, like many said, I see people walking in our neighborhoods all the time on our main roads. One that used to be 50 miles per hour is now 35 miles per hour, which is great, but people still are going 50 miles per hour down that street. And so know that, more traffic on those roads is just going to increase potential injury as well. And so those are where some of my major concerns lie, as well as losing 10% potentially on my property. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Is there anybody else who wishes to offer any testimony tonight that's present in the hearing room? Your name and address, please?
Harry March, 7621 Pheasant Lane.
Was it March like the month?
Yes, correct.
All right, sir, I'll have you raise your right hand for me. And do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
Yes, I swear.
Thank you very much. Sir, what would you like to tell me?
Well, I dropped my opposition letter off last week and talked to somebody in the planning commission because I had some questions. And one concern I haven't heard tonight was the permitted housing types in R1 if it is approved. So my concern is that, and when I talked to the planning person, he said that these municipal codes can be modified. Because right now, if R1 is approved, there's 6 different housing types that can be built in that development, such as new factory assembled homes, duplexes, triplexes, single-family dwelling units, and I guess I would like to recommend to the Planning Commission that if it is any portion of that area is approved for R1, that they modify this permitted housing types to single-family residential stick-built homes. And that's all I have. That was my only concern.
All right, thank you very much. All right, is there anybody else that's present in the hearing room that wishes to offer any testimony tonight?
Hi, my name's Carlos Toscano. I live on 7708 Byers Road.
And how do you spell your last name, sir?
Toscano.
All right, thank you very much. So I'm going to have you raise your right hand for me. And do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
Yes.
Then I have received and reviewed your written comments, so what else would you like to tell me?
Just the concern is all the drivers that it would bring in traffic to the area, and like right now on Chapel Hill, when all those new homes were constructed in that area on 2008, there's so much traffic in that area, and there's so many houses that were getting hit by cars. Like my uncle, he lived on the corner of Chapel Hill and Finhorse. His house got hit 3 different times, and he ended up just selling the house. And another one on Chapel Hill in Belgian and Burden and Lansing. Those are just a few that people are always racing up and down the streets, and people's houses just keep getting hit. They're always on the corners, and it's just a big concern. That's all I had.
All right, that is a concern. Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who wishes to testify that's present in the hearing room?
Being still under oath, could I add something to my previous comments?
Yeah, briefly. Your name, please?
Juan Ochoa.
All right. What would you like to add?
So, as an owner, we own multiple properties here in Franklin County. One of them is a 10-acre farm up on Glade Road. You know, we wanted country living. We wanted 10 acres or 5-acre plus. We went out there and bought that piece of land. A few years back, we bought a home on a quarter acre on First Place. You know, that fit my family. We went there and bought that. Right now, we're currently at a 1/2 acre home on Palmyra Drive. It fits my family. You know, I bought into that. We're moving into a 1 acre. Colder States, just northeast or northwest of that proposed property. It fits my family, I go there. As a buyer, I look for what fits my family and my surroundings. And I would just ask that the developers kind of do the same thing. They want to bring quarter acre lots or 0.18 of a lot. We'll go to an area that has 0.18 of a lot. They came to an area that has 1/2 acre lots and 1 acre lots. Well, I think they should kind of stick with that. I think they should be 1/2 acre lots at least, minimum, and 1 acre lots if possible. I'm not sure if I make myself clear, but that's,
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand
they want to put 0.18 of a home, 873 homes, we'll go to, somewhere that has that density. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, was there anybody else?
Coming. Hi.
Your name and address, please?
Debbie Bear, live at 51 Richview Drive, Pasco, Washington.
All right, I'll have you raise your right hand for me. And do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And what would you like to tell me?
I'd like to say that I know everyone here is affected. They're living out there because they like larger lots, larger homes. We will be very effective. We have the farm right across from it. We have a vineyard. And going out of that vineyard during harvest is dangerous as it already is. And we have all those other homes coming across the street from us. That will make it really bad. You know, I know eventually, we don't want development either, but I know eventually it's going to happen, and I can't imagine single family, I mean, I don't know what they're called, but density homes being there. It will affect everyone around us. It will ruin the environment that we have. We have lived there our entire life, and it's unbelievable. This is happening to us now, and that's all I have to say.
All right. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. Is there anybody else who wanted to offer any testimony tonight? Yes, sir. Your name and address?
My name is Robert Gomez, it's spelled Gomez. I live in 11704 Pheasant in Pasco.
Yeah, I'll have you raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much, sir. What would you like to tell me?
Well, just here to add my name to all those that already came here to this podium and are opposed or against this development. I am 100% in agreement with the concerns that have been presented. I'd like to add that we looked a little closer to the infrastructure that surrounds this property is not fit for what we're trying to develop. I came to this development back in 2007 with the idea that I could have some more room where my kids could grow up and play. They did that. Thank God they're grown up and on their way to some other land. But I am very concerned with the impact that it's going to bring to this communities. And as you have seen, most of the people that are in this room have come to this podium because they're concerned. I believe communication wasn't as effective as it should have been, because otherwise we would have people around the block in line to speak tonight. And I'd like to say that this needs to be reconsidered seriously, and that I'm for development and improvement, but not for something that's going to hinder everybody that's around it. That's all I had to say.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Gomez. Is there anybody else in the hearing room that wishes to provide testimony tonight? Good evening. Your name and address, please?
Good evening. My name is Amber Wade. I live at 1416 North 1st Avenue, Lot 40 here in Pasco.
Yeah, let me raise your right hand for me, please. And do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give me tonight will be the truth?
Yes.
All right, thank you. What would you like to tell me?
I have been coming to this area since the early 1980s. I started going to Pasco school in 1993 at the boarding school, Country Haven Academy, which most of you have never heard of. My parents have lived here for about 25 years running a nonprofit organization called Bangla Hope. I have driven Columbines here in Pasco and clear out to Athena. I know these fields, I know the roads, I know these people who live here. Because I care about this place, I'm going to speak quite frankly. Right now, the city is not taking care of the people that is already here. So I do not see this big housing plan as a simple growth. I see it as a bad choice for all of us. Let me tell you what life looks like from where I stand. I live on Social Security at less than $1,000 a month. 71% of my Social Security check goes straight to lot rent. I have no car. If I need groceries, a doctor, or a city meeting, or go to a city council meeting like this, I have to walk or find a ride. I rode my bicycle tonight. When I walk downtown, I have almost been run over more times than I can count. Cars flying through the crosswalks, drivers are angry in a hurry. It does not feel safe to be a pedestrian in my own city. So when I hear about hundreds of new houses and more traffic and more cars, I hear one thing: you are planning for people without money or vehicles. You are not planning for people like me who are already barely hanging on. At the same time, we are in a mental health crisis. In our own community, kids are dying by suicide. Teens are cutting, teens are overdosing, parents are begging for counselors and being told to get on a waiting list. We have veterans who went to war for this country and came home with trauma. And we just celebrated them on, Tuesday or yesterday? We have veterans who went to war for this country and came home with trauma. They wait for appointments, they fight for paperwork, some are homeless, some are losing hope, some are committing suicide. We are not short on pain here, we are short on help. So when I hear let's fast track hundreds of new houses on the edge of town, I hear a city saying we have time and energy for new streets and new pipes, but not the same energy for kids in crisis and veterans in pain. That is not just a planning issue, that is a moral issue. This land is not empty. I've watched it from the cab of a combine. These fields grow food. They give people work. They are part of the story of Pasco, Walwala, and Athena and surrounding areas. Once you pour concrete and build houses on good soil, you never get that land back. You lose crops, you lose harvest jobs, you erase the farming character that made this region what it is. At the age of 13, I was working 20 hours to supply a nursery here in Pasco. While that happens, basic services are already failing people who live here now. In my park, we have serious water pressure problems and leaks. There are days when water barely comes out of the tap. You still get the bill, you still get the threats. That's what infrastructure feels like at the bottom. Not a line, not on a report. Fear, stress, headaches, not knowing if your water is safe or if it will work at all. If the city cannot guarantee stable water and utilities for the people who are already here, you have no business adding hundreds of new homes that will strain the same system. Fix what is already broken here. First, prove you can take care of us before you invite thousands more. We also have a bully problem. Not kids bullies, grown-up bullies, people tied to housing and utilities who have used letters, fines, legal threats as weapons. People are using rules to scare seniors, disabled people, and low-income tenants instead of helping them. I have lived that. I am losing my home because I have spoken up publicly. I know what it feels like to wonder if you will lose your home even when you are paying most of your check in rent. When you push through big projects without changing that culture, you have more land, more money, and more power to the same people who are already abusing it. You reward bullies. You tell the rest of us to stay quiet and take it. Schools and emergency services are already stretched thin. I went to Pasco schools. I know what crowded classrooms feel like. I have been a substitute lunch lady. I see the children in the line and how many people we are feeding. Hundreds of new homes means hundreds of new students. Where do they sit? Who gets less time with a teacher? Which kids in pain fall through the cracks because the room is too full and the counselor are overloaded as it is? Police, fire, ambulance crews are already covered wide areas. If you spread houses farther out without a strong plan, response times goes up. In a heart attack, a house fire, a suicide, or a crash, those minutes matter. You cannot stand up and say, we care about mental health, we care about kids, we care about our veterans, and then vote for a plan that makes it harder for help to arrive in time. I also want you to think about the roads and the fields together. I have driven combines in these roads. They are big, they are slow, they need room and patience. Even at driving 3 o'clock, people are impatient trying to drive past a combine. When you drop big subdivisions around farm routes, you mix heavy equipment with tired, angry drivers rushing to work and school. You get more close calls, more road rage, more pressure on farms to stop normal farm work because new neighbors do not like dust, noise, or late harvest nights. That is not safe for the people in the cars. It is not safe for the people in the fields, and it slowly erases the farming life that this region was built on. There's also
Ms. Wade,
no problem. I didn't have the time limit, so I was just going on. Yes.
How much longer do you anticipate?
I can finish up. So growth that covers farmland while kids are buried, growth that gives more power to bullies while veterans wait for care, growth that pours money into a new cul-de-sac while people like me give 71% of SSI check to rent and still walk unsafe streets without a car and without steady water. I'm asking you to say no, or at least the very stop and slow this way down. Put kids first, put veterans first, put longtime residents, farm workers, seniors, disabled neighbors, and low-income tenants first. Protect the land that still feeds us, fix the system that is already breaking, prove that you can take care of the people you have before you build for more people that are not here yet. That is what real leadership looks like. That is what community should look like. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that's present that wishes to offer any testimony tonight? All right, is there anybody online that wishes to testify? If so, you need to unmute yourself. All right, is there anything further from staff?
No, Mr. Examiner.
All right. Is there anything further from the applicant?
Just wanted to take a couple minutes, Mr. Examiner, and respond to a few of the comments kind of as a whole. One, we do obviously appreciate comments from the public. It's important that folks in the area are able to provide their input. And just by way of factual mentioning, I'll mention I've lived in Pasco my whole life as well, and so has the applicant. You heard a lot of comments about how the rezone needs to be in compliance with the comprehensive plan. As stated, and I'll reiterate that R1 zoning is an allowed zone within the low-density residential area that's been designated with the comp plan. Comments addressing home values of existing homes at this time are speculative. They presuppose what type of homes could be built on the property, and again, this is not a project application. Mr. Bear, and I apologize for I didn't catch the last name, so Frank mentioned traffic problems that already exist. That currently exist, rather, excuse me. Those problems that already exist cannot be attributed to this proposal. There was also mention that the city needs plans to guide development, and I'll just mention that the city, beyond the comprehensive plan, also has a transportation system master plan and a traffic improvement plan. Both of those plans, when they are compiled and put together, there's lots of opportunity for public comment at public hearings during that time. And then, again, this gets more into the project-specific stuff, which is not the item before us this evening, but I'll just mention that future development that may occur can be expected to coincide with future infrastructure improvements to accommodate that growth. Mr. Smith and a few others had comments regarding lot sizing. Again, those are more applicable for a preliminary plat hearing, which will be scheduled sometime in the next few months, we presume. Mr. Dotson had some comments that it's irrelevant to the proposal this evening, but I will mention that yes, I once served on city council for the city of Pasco and have since resigned. But I do still understand and appreciate the concern and appreciate the tone in which it was delivered. It was also stated that this rezone has never been done before, but one thing I wanted to bring to your attention is that the R1 zoning is actually the most common zoning in all of the city of Pasco. There were a couple of comments regarding crowded schools, and again, if a problem already exists, it cannot be attributed to this proposal. Furthermore, the duty to ensure adequate school facilities is a burden on the government and not on this rezone proposal. Lastly, I'll just reiterate that R1 isn't allowed zoning. This is a low-density project. It may not feel like it to those who are not involved in land development, but it is a low-density project, and the city's mandated to grow, as you know, under the Growth Management Act. The growth is implemented oftentimes through the comprehensive plan, which designates this site as low-density residential. In very close proximity to this site, a piece of property was recently rezoned to R4 on the south side of Burns. This project is on the north side of Burns Road, and that's high density. We're not trying to do anything like that. We just want to stick with the low density land use, and I don't think I have anything further to add.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Harpster. All right, folks, with that, I'm going to close the public record portion of this hearing. I will have my recommendation out within the next 10 working days. You can indicate if you want. There's no more. I said the applicant gets the last word, so they have the burden of proof, so they get the last chance to testify. I'll have a written decision recommendation to City Council made, and then City Council will make a final decision on this. They will be provided with not only my written recommendation, but also all the evidence that's been submitted. They'll have access to all of that when they make their final decision. So this is, City Council has reserved that type of a decision, this type of a decision for themselves. So this was the last item that was on tonight's agenda. I do appreciate everybody coming out tonight. I do appreciate that this is a very personal issue for those of you in this area, and a very important issue. And I appreciate the civility of your testimony and your focus on the facts on this case. That's very important to the hearing examiner. So with that, then, I'm now going to adjourn this November 12, 2025 meeting of the City of Pasco Hearing Examiner. Once again, thank you all very much for coming tonight. This meeting is adjourned.